The world is watching Oman with bated breath. In the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, a high-stakes diplomatic drama is unfolding. Iran and the United States, two countries with a long history of animosity, are engaged in indirect talks. These negotiations, facilitated by Omani mediators, are a race against time, operating under a strict 60-day deadline imposed by President Trump. The clock is ticking, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The negotiations are indirect, a testament to the deep mistrust that lingers between Tehran and Washington. The ghost of the 2018 U.S. withdrawal from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, also known as the Iran nuclear deal, still looms large. President Trump's maximum pressure campaign, a policy of sanctions and threats, has only deepened the divide. The world holds its breath, hoping for a breakthrough. A successful outcome could pave the way for a new era of engagement, easing tensions in the volatile Middle East. Failure, however, could have catastrophic consequences, potentially plunging the region into chaos and sparking a new wave of global instability. At the negotiating table, Iran and the United States are locked in a delicate dance, each side pursuing its own interests. Iran, reeling under the weight of crippling U.S. sanctions, seeks economic relief. The Iranian economy is in dire straits, grappling with soaring inflation, energy shortages, and a plummeting currency. For Tehran, a deal represents a lifeline, a chance to revive its struggling economy, and alleviate the suffering of its people. The United States, on the other hand, demands strict limits on Iran's nuclear program. Washington's primary objective is to prevent Tehran from developing nuclear weapons, a goal shared by much of the international community. The U.S. also seeks to curb Iran's ballistic missile program and its support for regional proxies, which Washington views as destabilizing forces in the Middle East. The crux of the negotiations lies in finding a compromise on the nuclear issue. Iran insists on its right to enrich uranium for peaceful purposes, a right enshrined in the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. The United States, however, wants Tehran to significantly reduce its enrichment activities and accept stringent international inspections. While Iran and the United States are the main protagonists in this diplomatic drama, a cast of shadow players lurks in the wings, exerting their own influence on the negotiations. Inside Iran, a power struggle between hardliners and moderates adds another layer of complexity. Hardliners, skeptical of any rapprochement with the West, could try to sabotage the talks, fearing that a deal would undermine Iran's revolutionary principles. Across the globe, in Washington, President Trump faces pressure from both hawks and doves. Congressional hawks, deeply suspicious of Iran, are pushing for a harder line, urging the president to extract maximum concessions from Tehran. Doves, on the other hand, advocate for diplomacy, arguing that a negotiated settlement is the only way to prevent a catastrophic war. The international community is also watching the talks closely. European powers, eager to salvage the remnants of the JCPOA, are urging both sides to show flexibility. Russia and China, traditional allies of Iran, are playing a more ambiguous role, offering Tehran diplomatic support while simultaneously seeking to advance their own interests. As the clock ticks down to the 60-day deadline, the world awaits the outcome of the Iran-US talks with a mixture of hope and trepidation. The path ahead is fraught with uncertainty, with several possible scenarios on the horizon. An optimistic outcome would see Iran and the United States reaching a mutually acceptable agreement. Such a deal would likely involve Iran curbing its nuclear program in exchange for a significant easing of sanctions. This would provide much-needed relief to the Iranian economy and ease tensions in the region. A pessimistic scenario, on the other hand, would see the talks collapse, with both sides blaming each other for the failure. This would be a disastrous outcome, leading to a dangerous escalation of tensions. Iran could ramp up its nuclear activities, prompting a military response from Israel or the United States. The consequences for the region and the world would be catastrophic. The most likely outcome, however, lies somewhere between these two extremes. A partial agreement, addressing some but not all of the issues, is a distinct possibility. Such an outcome would buy time for further negotiations, but would not fully resolve the underlying tensions.